Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, and we are back again this early morning with another piece of transfer news, Arsenal transfer news. And we're going to speak a couple of things, obviously. We're going to speak a couple of things, especially Bernardo Silva talks. What does this mean for James Madison? And Martin Odegaard was confirmed yesterday that he will be leaving Real Madrid. Tammy Abraham as well is waiting for Arsenal. His deal was agreed with Roma. The clubs agreed the price, but the player is still waiting for Arsenal. And reports are that Mikel Arteta has told Tammy Abraham, they spoke on phone and told him he shouldn't actually decide on going to Roma. He should actually give Arsenal more time. So we're gonna be discussing that and more, especially around Bernardo Silva. Why exactly would Arsenal sign in Bernardo? Would he be the cheaper option? Would he be the better option to James Madison? Do you think maybe Bernardo would be the better option to James Madison in terms of the pitch and in terms of maybe the money that both clubs would want, because Bernardo wants to leave, and Manchester City have also brought in a potential replacement. Bernardo is a little bit older than Madison, so probably which is the better deal? We're gonna be discussing that and more. Smash the like button, do subscribe to the channel as well, and let's get the party started. Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from in all parts of the world. So Arsenal have been linked with Bernardo Silva, and we shall start straight away and enter the transfer news at this moment. With Bernardo. So the links are that Arsenal have actually initiated talks and began talks to sign Bernardo Silva from Manchester City. Of course, we know the roots of this story. We absolutely do understand the roots of the story. Manchester City signing in Jack Grealish obviously means that some players have to leave, and Pep has already come out and said the couple of players that want to leave Manchester City, including Bernardo Silva, and City are very open to selling him for the right price. Now, it's not yet known what is the right price for Bernardo Silva. A couple of reports indicating that City would want in excess of £60 million. I don't think they're going to get that in this difficult transfer summer. I don't think they're going to get that. But however, Arsenal are reportedly in talks, and they have initiated talks to sign Bernardo Silva. Now, that really means a lot when it comes to the James Madison deal. It absolutely means a lot, because, like I said, I don't think Arsenal is gonna go on a spending spree in the last days of the summer. I don't see us go on a spending spree. Players like Hector Bellerin have much higher odds now to stay at the club rather than leave, and that only shows you that Arsenal have started wrapping up their spending. We have started actually wrapping up the checkbook. It might actually open next summer. So with Bernardo Silva, I've decided to look at statistics and what we would actually get if we signed him, because we might actually, think of, James Madison, and eventually we go with someone else. But the big question that I have on Bernardo is he coming in as a number 10? Like we signed in Willian and we wanted to use him as a number 10, or is he coming in just as an addition, just like any other player? Because if we bring in Bernardo and try to force him to play as a 10, which I think he doesn't do well, it might be a problem. It might actually be a big problem. But for him as a player, I think he's got very, very good numbers. And we're going to look at some of his statistics. He's a very, very good player, especially in terms of creating chances, scoring goals, and also adding that intensity and urgency to the team. So if we look at some of his statistics, in the past seasons, this is in the Premier League, and the Premier League alone with Manchester City, like you can see. Last season, 26 games. Of course, we know the amount of competition that is at City. and we know what it takes for you to be a regular starter at City. You've got to be so good. So 26 appearances for me. Last season where you had the breakout of Riyad Mahrez, the breakout of the breakthroughs of Phil Foden. Raheem Sterling was also still there. The likes of Kevin and Eke Gundogan was also on fire. Managing 26 games, appearing 26 times. That was really wonderful for Bernardo. 2 goals and 6 assists, 5 yellow cards, no red card. But if you compare that to James Madders last season, James Madders played around 35 games and recorded 8 assists and around 10 goals. So I think James Madders scored more than Bernardo. In the 2019-2020 season, Bernado Silva played 34 games. That is only only 4 games away from playing a full calendar. 6 goals and 7 assists. That is really, really, really wonderful. If you ask me, for a central midfielder, I mean for an attacking midfielder, that is decent. In the 2018-2019 season, I think this was his best season at Manchester City. 36 games, 7 goals and 7 assists. One of the things you see there is he really scores goals. He doesn't have problems with scoring goals. He's a good goal scorer, and he also creates chances because if you look at the 2019-2020, 6 goals. 2018-2019, scored 7 goals, and in the 2017-2018 season, he actually scored 6 goals. So on average per season, he scores around 5 goals on average, and assists around 6 times on average per season. I don't know. Let me know in the comment box. Would you actually take such a player? Would you be comfortable with such a player who gives you those amounts of goals per season? That is what I would love to know. That is what I would love to hear from you. Are you comfortable with that kind of player who gives you those numbers? Because for me, his numbers are actually not bad. Not bad at 1 minute. If you look at his appearances in the Champions League, last season 13 matches, 1 goal, no assists. Last season but 1, 7 matches, no assists. 2018-2019, 8 matches, 4 goals. So he's not really a bad player, honestly. He's not a bad player. If you look at him at Monaco, because City got him at Monaco, in that season where they signed him, he actually played 37 games, 8 goals and 9 assists. In the 2015-2016 season, he played 32 games, 7 goals and 1 assist. And then in 2014-2015, he played 32 games and scored 9 goals and 3 assists. So it really doesn't look like he is a bad player. It doesn't really look like that. It doesn't seem like that. I think he's a very, very decent player. Very, very decent. So that is my question to you is, would you actually take a player like Bernardo? Would you take a player like Bernardo if you fail to get James Madison? Right. If you look at Bernardo Silva's statistics, strength and weaknesses on FBref, there you go. He pass completion is 89. 89% is 88%. Passes attempted, 59 passes per 90, and that is 69%. Pressures applied, 18.25 per 90, 49%. Progressive carries, 10.49. Progressive passes, 5.38. Touches in the penalty area, 4.6. Progressive passes, 3.4. Shot creating actions, 3.22. And I think this is where it becomes more attractive, because shot creating actions, 3.22, and that is 91%. Dribbles completed, 1.65, 91%. Tackles, 1.41. Shots on total, 1.1. Blocks, 0.09. Interceptions, 0.8. Area balls, 0.4. 5. Clearances, 0.39. A number of expected goals and assists, 0.29 as well. But if for a central midfielder, what you're looking at is not the pressures and so on, but he really adds, he's really got a very good pressure amount, 14.8. But I think his game is better, going forward. So my thing with Bernardo is, if he comes in, I would love us to use him as a central midfielder. I don't know whether he works well there, because apparently with Pep Guardiola, he's been playing more on either as a 7 or as 11 on the flanks as an inverted winger. But at Monaco, if I still remember right, at Monaco he was more of an inverted, not an inverted winger, but more of a central midfielder. And maybe if he joined Arsenal, Mikel could actually use him as a central midfielder. And for me, a central midfielder that can score 8 goals in a season, 9 goals in a season, I absolutely have no issues with them. I absolutely have no issues with them. So I might take Bernardo Silva, not from James Madison, but for a central midfielder. And as well, if we fail to get James Madders at the end of the season, and we come out with Bernardo Silva, I think we will have added something, because he has the agency, he has the goal scoring rate, shot creating actions. But at the end of the day, I think he might not be he must and might not be our priority. I think we only go for Bernardo, and I only agree for us to go for Bernardo if we fail to get in James Madders. That is when I'll be like, yeah, we can actually go for Bernardo. But at the moment, I don't see Arsenal really prioritizing Bernardo Silva. I don't see that, and I will say that time and time again. I don't think it's our priority. The talks, I mean, the talks have been there, on every player. The same goes with Joachim Correa. I mean, talks have been reported, and we'll speak about Dennis Zakaria in a minute. Again, Arsenal in talks with Dennis Zakaria. So with talks with Bernardo, talks with Zakaria and the likes of Joachim Correa, I think this could be of the work of agents, the camp trying to find a suitable deal, and that's why they are reporting, Arsenal talks, this and that. Of course, we know Bernardo is at the end of the day, he's going to leave Manchester City in this summer. But the question is, where does he go? Where does he want to go? And where will he end up? That's the big question. And apparently, I've got this feeling, I don't know whether it's true, but I've got this feeling that he might end up in Spain, either at Atletico Madrid, I don't know, maybe at Barcelona or something like that. I don't see him join Arsenal. I don't see him stay in the Premier League. And I know Manchester City would also, prefer and fancy a move for the player, or a deal from the player for the player abroad. If they sell him, probably at Juve, probably at Barcelona, they know the only chance they meet him, the only chance is gonna affect them is in the Champions League. But if you sell him at Arsenal, and Arsenal win the league, of course, it's not gonna happen next season. But if you sell him at Arsenal, and Arsenal, are your competitors, in the league, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, Bernardo Silva talks being initiated. I don't think it's true. I think it's the agent, it's the camp of the player trying to find a suitable deal, trying to attract more attention to Bernardo, trying to tell people, what, Bernardo is available. If you want him, you could actually get him. We have clubs that are, we have clubs that are interested at the moment, like Arsenal. So they're trying to call, up action. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's eventually going to turn out as turn out into a very, very big deal, Bernardo, to Arsenal. But he has very good numbers. Very, very good numbers. And the problem with Bernardo, if you brought him at Arsenal at the moment, he's going to affect either Nicola Pepe or Saka. Now, look, I've already said, we've got to be ruthless. We need the competition and things like that. But I don't think you bring in Bernardo for 40 million or 45 and let him sit on the bench. And it's another worry I do have with Aaron Ramsdale. I don't think Arsenal signing Aaron Ramsdale for 40 million euros. And then we let him sit on the bench. If we sign in Aaron Ramsdale for 32 million pounds, he's got to be a starter. And where does that leave Leno? Maybe Leno, leaves in the next summer. Is that what's going to happen? I'm not really sure about that. So, but we will discuss Aaron Ramsdale. According to Charles Watts, I'll do a compilation of what Charles Watts said, yesterday, and I'll make sure that you get all the information, well. So, in my case, like I've already said it, and I'll say it again, Arsenal is not prioritizing Bernardo. I think Bernardo Silva and his camp are trying to take advantage of the fact that Arsenal want a number 10, and they know Bernardo could be that number 10 we're looking for. So I think they're just trying to take advantage of the situation, trying to take advantage of Arsenal. They want a number 10, so we can actually use that opportunity to attract more, more players to the player. I mean, more teams to the player, and it's gonna be very hard. I just feel like it's gonna be very hard for them to to offload Bernardo, because where's he gonna go? Maybe Barcelona, because they have let go of Lionel Messi. Maybe, but I think Barcelona should be looking at a Maki signing. If I were Barca, I would even go for Erling Haaland now. I don't know whether it's their financial stress has eased a little bit or isn't a little bit to allow them buy Haaland. But I would go for a player like Erling Haaland. I would do a statement signing, because the heart of Barcelona fans and I've broken into micro pieces. If Barcelona is gonna do enough, if Barca want to do enough to bring back the fans, they've got to do a Maki signing. And for me, that Maki signing is going to be a player like Mbappe, a player like Erling Haaland, a player like I don't know who it could be. They could sign Kevin De Bruyne probably, but he's turned 30. But they could sign Kevin De Bruyne, and I think Barca made a mistake. If they had signed Kevin De Bruyne 3 years ago, 5 years ago, they could have dealt with all these problems of Iniesta leaving and the likes of Xhaka. But I don't want to talk about that at this point in time. Let's smash the like button, people. Thanks everybody for doing that. Let's get them to 50 right about now. We are 127 people watching. Let's get them to 50 likes. Smash the like hell out of that like button. Obviously today I'm going to be live dropping our preseason. That's a preseason. Our preview for Brentford, for the Brentford game. I'm going to be live with that preview. We play on Friday, so today is the day I drop the preview, and obviously tomorrow I will drop the predicted lineup. There's so many videos coming out. In regards to that game today, around 3 videos on that Brentford game, combined 11. The preview, injury status, and a couple of other things. So make sure you're tuned in. I'll be live for the preview of that game. Okay. And my Premier League predictions also dropped today. Yeah, they had to drop yesterday, but I didn't edit. I didn't have enough time. I just feel a little bit dizzy. So I was not so fine yesterday. But today, Premier League predictions are also dropping. So make sure I do check out for that. So in the other stories that we have at the moment is Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham, and I'll speak about Tammy. We will have a live show about Tammy Abraham. But let's speak about Tammy Abraham. Apparently, Roma representatives are going to fly to London to try to convince Tammy Abraham and finalize the deal. However, there are also reports that Mikel Arteta has actually called Tammy Abraham on phone personally. There are reports that Mikel has called Tammy Abraham on phone personally to let him know that Arsenal are in need of him. Arsenal are in need of his services, and so the player shouldn't actually sign with Roma. That is the information we have at the moment, and I don't know what it actually means. I don't know what I don't know what it actually means, because we know Arsenal have to move on players, or at least we know that it's absolutely true. Arsenal have to move on players. Arsenal have to let go of a couple of players. Especially Alexander Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah, to bring in Tammy. I don't know why I don't know why the reports are very confident that Arsenal will get this one over the line, but there just seems to be that kind of confidence that Arsenal will actually get this deal over the line. The Tammy Abraham deal, and because Mikel Arteta seems to like the player so much, he seems to be very so much interested in taking him at at the Emirates Stadium. So with the Tammy Abraham deal, I think it's going to be decided in the next 48 hours. At the moment, it's still not so easy. It's still not very, very easy. But what I know is the Roma representatives are flying in London. They would love to finish this deal off as soon as possible. Mikel is also saying, give us more time. Is telling the camp of Tammy Abraham to give us more time. So